Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to N55 David. I'm David, and today we're in the BMW X3. I'm actually out running some errands, and I figured I'd do a quick video on how to do the XHP transmission flash on the X3. So, real simple, real easy to do. So let's get right to it. 1, 2, 3. Alright guys, so I got my DCAN cable and adapter already plugged into, into the X3 here underneath the dash, into the OBD port. And you can use an eNAC cable, but I had this before they had that option, I guess. They didn't have that functionality yet at the time, so they do now. I can run either cable, I have both, but I got my DCAN cable and adapter. What we're gonna do, plug it into my phone. It's gonna bring up the XHP app, which I've already opened. You're going to go into airplane mode, and you see here I got 3 different cars. I got the X3, the 335, and the 328D. 328D is not my car, it's a friend's. So we're going to connect. You're gonna choose whatever transmission you have. In this case, it's the 8-speed. It's going to connect. Now keep in mind, I'm already on. I'm in accessory mode. Lights are off, radio's off, heat, AC, all that stuff's off. We want that off, and I got my seatbelt plugged in down here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to settings. So down here, well, let's back up. If it's just the first time using it, you're going to have to do the flash license and the map packs. You're going to have to redeem your coupons for that. So you'll have to pay it. You'll get a code. You take that code, put it in, and it'll activate the license and then the map pack. So we're going to go to settings here because we want to change some stuff. In this case, custom launch control. You're going to want to mess with this. This is going to vary car to car. So if you got an all-wheel drive like the X3 here, or an all-wheel drive E-Series or F-Series or G-Series, this will come into play. So turning this up is going to change how the car or SUV is going to launch. So it's going to launch harder, so on and so forth. So launch torque and then torque scaling after launch. Basically stock is 0% for both of these, and if you need it to launch harder, you can basically do that. And we are going to launch a little harder. Shift map editor, we can edit shift maps. You're going to want to read through all this and so on. I'm not going to mess with this. I don't want to do that right now. So this is part throttle cruising kind of stuff, so we're not going to mess with that. Go back. Max RPM. This I am going to change. I do not want to go above, say 50, in this case 5900. So this is a pneumatic wastegate, and basically shifting it 7,000 RPM or anywhere even really in the 6,000s is a waste, an absolute waste. Turbo just runs out of steam. It's too restrictive. It's a 3.5-inch setup, and you know, wastegate control is not very good. You don't want to shift high at all. So we're going to save that. Shut up. All right, so max RPM set, stock shift maps. Basically, you want to enable this option if you want to use the stock shift points instead of the ones from the OTS map. So if you want to keep the stock shift points, then you're going to turn this on. I'm leaving it off. I like how it shifts, how XHP set up their shift points, like where it shifts now. It changes it up a little bit. Some are higher, some are lower. So I like it where the OTS maps shift. So we're going to leave that. You can choose to take off in second gear as standard, meaning when you come to a stop and you start accelerating, instead of shifting down to first, it'll always stay in second. I don't want that. We're not going to turn that on. Throttle blips in M mode. So if you basically throw it in sport and everything else, it'll downshift, it'll blip the throttle. I like it. You have all kinds of adjustments for this. We're just going to leave that as is, but we're going to have it turned on. Gear display. It toggles the gear display in normal drive. So it'll say D1, D2, D3. Some optioned X3s and 335s and 328s and so on, they will not show. They'll just show drive until you put it in sport, if you have sport, and then it'll show you what gear you're in. So I like it on. This defaulted and showed you gears anyway, so having it set that way now is fine. So anyways, I'm turning it on. Torque limits. Basically, you can set torque limits per gear through the trans. So if the transmission sees a certain amount of torque, it will then back off timing and boost to keep you under a certain amount of power. We don't want that. We're never really going to see that in this vehicle anyways, without a seriously upgraded turbo and a whole bunch of other stuff. So we're not going to have any torque limits. We do not want that on. Switch off sport mode in cruise. Do I want that? No, we don't. So we're going to turn that off. They have a new thing here, activate line pressure bump. This you turn on for very, very high horsepower applications. Basically, it's to add clamping force for the trans. You're not really going to turn this on unless you're crazy power. So you want to just leave this off. They recommend to leave it off unless you need it. So off. And there is a valet mode. No, we're gonna want this off. We're not gonna do that, although it is pretty cool. So you can if you want to set it up, you're going to be dropping it off or letting somebody else drive your car, drop it off for service or anything. You can put it into valet mode, which I would recommend if they know your car is modified. So there you go. We are all set. So I turned the car off because I just didn't want it to sit here and kill the battery. So now that we have everything all set, we're going to go to flash. I'm going to use the X3 stage 3. We're going to apply the settings. So do you want to apply the custom flash settings that you created? Yes. Select the latest version. Now it's basically going to connect to the vehicle. As you see here, it says preparing to flash. And it tells you right at the bottom, activate flight mode. Only Wi-Fi is allowed. Keep your seatbelt fastened, don't turn off the ignition, switch off appliances. So what they mean by that is headlights and so on. It gives you a warning you're about to flash. Okay, another warning. Now we're on finalizing. I mean, it's super quick. It takes about a minute, tops 2 minutes. So what it's doing now is it's finalizing flash, and it's going to clear all these lights and everything else. And when you're done, you're going to turn everything off, basically disconnect, and when you start it up, it will have the trans flashed. So successfully done. You notice everything is gone off on the dashes, on the iDrive. All the warnings and errors are gone. So basically that's it. I can tell you that it's going to shift much better, especially in sport mode. So much more fun to drive. The downshift throttle blips are really cool. It takes a lot to get used to if you're not used to it, but you're really going to like it. So this is basically, I've done this video on the 335. I wanted to do it for the X3. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. As always, if you like the video, like it, please. Comment and subscribe to the channel. Take care, guys.